This is Mete Yurtsever, the host of the show, The Formula for Creating Value. Today, my special guest is Dr.Shirli Ender Büyükbay. Welcome, Shirli.
Hi, thank you very much. Thank you for hosting me.
Thank you very much for coming, for your time. Let me briefly introduce you to our audience. So you define yourself as a trainer, researcher, lecturer, mentor, and a coach. You have an MBA degree on education leadership and a PhD on human resources management and services. So you have 18 years of language teaching experience in secondary and high schools. And for the last 7 years, you have your own initiative, Mind the Positive, where you facilitate people to work out their self-leadership way by revealing their aspirations through various training, workshop, mentoring, and coaching services. And all this content is grounded on the principles of mindfulness, positive psychology, emotional intelligence, neuroscience, and leadership. So you were and also are teaching in universities as visiting professor, respectively in EU Business School in Barcelona and in Bahçeşehir University from Istanbul, online. Online because you're based in Barcelona, right?
Yes, that's right.
So is there anything I'm missing? Big piece? Like to add something?
Yes, I completed my PhD in 2017 with a dissertation topic on proposing the well-being model for holistic perspective, that we are ultimately whole people, and no matter what goes on in our lives, we are able to function, and what matters is to look at the whole complete part, and only then we can function at our optimal state. So that was my... I wanted to add it because there's a lot of effort and commitment into it. So
I totally understand. I totally respect it.
Yes.
So
yes.
I'd like to start from a French idiom that I like. I often quote also. Si jeunesse savait, si vieillesse pouvait. If youth only knew and if age only could. So I read from your notes that a family friend, Albert Bassan, had told you what real life was, right? He said at school, first you take your lessons and then take the exams. In real life, first you take the exams and then you get your lessons. That's a great one.
That's true. Yes, that's true. And I got that message when I was 25 or at my early 20s. Mm-hmm. And I was not knowledgeable or experienced, and I had no clue what I was going to do in life. And clumsily, I was, through trial and error, I was looking here and there what to do. Primarily, I'd like to actually tell this, how I came up to where I am today, is that when I graduated from university, you know, I'm sure you had the same experience. You have the paper saying that, okay, you're done with the school. So now what?
Yeah.
And yes, now what? Where to begin and how? Which doors to knock on and so on. And at that time, we had done that process or found our way through our own means. But we never had any facilitator, any guidance, any support mechanism that is totally objective, that is non-judgmental, that has no interest whatsoever on trying to direct you into their own benefit or their own interest, and solely to serve you with your needs and bringing out your potential, your real potential. We didn't have that. Maybe because of that, I became an educator, an English teacher. And when I was teaching, actually, while I was teaching English, I was also trying to teach my students about life and what is there in life. And always there's a difference between trying and doing, actually. I was reflecting to them. I was giving them the life lessons that they could draw out for themselves and not giving them, you know, there's a difference between giving the fish or teaching them to fish. So it's like I started back then when I was at my earliest time of teaching. So this is how I started.
So, and actually, there's an institution which is for this purpose, right? Mentorship, right? So,
Yes.
can a mentor help you to reverse this? I mean, like, know what is worth knowing while still you're young, or can we consider mentoring is like a preventive medicine, like something that protects you before it happens?
Okay, that's a very nice question. I need to really ponder on that. The way I see mentoring, I see mentoring together with coaching, actually. There's a difference between, for example, consultancy. When you hire a consultant, the consultant would tell you and recommend you, give advice based on the analysis that has done, and will tell you to do this, that, etc. Mentor and coach are there to serve you for your path, and there's always going back to what has been done and fixing, or there's no fixing actually, but how you can do better in terms of, because we're full of failures and achievements and mistakes but we don't know when we take an action or take a decision, we don't know whether it's going to be a mistake or the right decision. So the mentor or the coach, what I do, and it's not rocket science, by the way, okay? And everyone can do that, is that to ask the right questions at the right time. And the key thing is to attentively listening, with wholeheartedly listening, and without judgment, without being surprised, without labeling, just accepting the person as he or she is, so that is able to, the mentee is able to open up. It's just lifting up the guards, because after all, we all have those guards. And in socializing, in social context, we always operate and function based on them. And mentoring and coaching, it's a very vulnerable platform where the person will find the safety, that trustworthy environment to open up, and while dealing with present issues, will visit past issues, will always have a future projection. It's not mending what has done, but it's like you have a painting, you're painting, or you're writing a book, and there's always an opportunity to go back and not erase, but reshape what you're creating. Because it's a lifelong journey that we are creating ourselves as well.
Right.
Yeah.
And so what was interesting, I heard you, I mean, you separated consulting from coaching and mentoring, but where do coaching and mentoring separates?
Okay. Yes, nice underlying aspect. It's important to emphasize. Now, mentors, classical mentors, what they do, let's say that I am mentoring you. I need to be highly professionally experienced, knowledgeable, in order to guide you in your path, in your decision making, and showing you, okay, this path takes you to this way, this path takes you to that way, etc. Feed you with certain answers to your question. So the mentoring process is where you have questions and I will feed you with the answers. Coaching is a little even more different than that. I can coach anyone, including you, without the necessity of being or having the expertise in your field or sector. I do not have to have gone through what you have gone through. And there are tools, coaching skills, which priorly I said, listening deeply listening, wholeheartedly and devotedly, committedly, and asking the right questions at the right time. So the mentor feeds with the answers, but the coach asks the question and facilitates the mentee or the individual finding their answers. Why? Why I use both of them together as a combination, because I find it valuable to have it both. And it differentiates from consultancy as well, that when I feed you with the answer, you're not going to own it. But when I facilitate you with finding your own answers, it will be your own answers and it will be your own path. You will be committed to it. You will take your ownership to that. So it has a different effect.
Definitely. So I understand the reason. They both require same abilities, like coaching and mentorship. They require the same soft skills, let's say, more or less. But mentorship is a bit more specific, let's say, for area. So then you said everybody can mentor, but then there must be still something between. So what would be the who would be the right mentor for me? I mean, what would identify this match? Is there's, apart from the area of mentorship, is there any difference?
Okay. First of all, let's define and differentiate a successful, potentially successful mentorship versus not so, let's say, managing or finding the way. First of all, what I have seen and experienced throughout the process of mentoring so many people, I've seen the differentiation between, which as I mentioned, future projection as having a goal. Let's say that you have a certain goal, a challenge, an aspiration, something to overcome. And majority of my I don't want to call them clients, but the people that I work with, their concerns about establishing their career positioning. Either they're stuck, they come to a plateau state, they want to move on, they don't know what to do, etc. But they have certain concern related to a future projection, future goal. So there is something that they want that matters to them. This is an important factor differentiating a successful versus not so successful mentorship process. And those who come to me with a certain goal that they say, I feel stuck and I want to get myself out of this. And it's been 4 years that I'm in the same plateau state and I don't know how to get myself out. This is a marvelous situation. For that time of being 4 years, yes, it's not marvelous, but for us, not for me, but for her, it's a marvelous situation for her to get herself out of it. So there are some mentees that I worked with, and it did not last long, was that they came, I don't know what I want, I want to explore myself, and so on. That is more here and now state. It doesn't work. Why? Because at any case, while you have a certain achievement orientation or a challenge, at any case, we are so much focusing on the here and now, what's going on here and now, what has happened in the past, and how we had been responding to the situations in the past. What is going on right now? Who am I? What do I want? What kind of a person I am, and what kind of a person do I want to be, and what do I want to create, etc. We tackle all of these aspects, and it takes time. Majority of the mentoring programs that are methodical or mechanical according to certain NGOs that I am connected to, they require at least once a month meeting in a certain time interval. Let's say, for example, PWN, Professional Women's Network, is a global institution. It's going to start from March. Now we're in February. It's going to start in March till December. And it requires every mentor and mentee to meet at least once a month. This is not enough. It's not enough. So what I do in that experience, when and it's a voluntary, by the way.
Right.
It's not paid. It's nothing.
Okay.
And it's totally voluntary. And I ask my matched mentee. I say, so, what's your urgency? And what's your timeline? Do you want to meet once a week? Do you want to meet twice a week? Once in a fortnight or once a month? It all depends on you, in your urgency and in how much time you want to get there.
Right.
Because it takes time.
Right.
So majority of the time I meet once a week. I also had a mentee back in Turkey, actually. I also work with Turkish NGOs. At first she had this urgency and we used to meet twice a week. And then once we had a momentum, like accelerated to a certain momentum, we dropped it to once a week.
Yeah, my experience also was like I had within the organization we had a closed mentorship program, and what we were told as mentors. So the process depends on the mentee. So just don't push it. Right, whenever but your method is actually good, because I didn't ask this question at the beginning those times. I mean, like I didn't ask about the urgency, and that made actually change a lot. So even in that one, in that aspect, you need to be guiding your mentee, right?
Yes, and also it's important not only guiding but also a little bit educating the mentee about the process. And how it's going to be, and making sure that I, as a mentor, comply that, and making sure that I will serve her needs, her or his, and the mentee should have this sense of entitlement to get what he needs or she needs from me, and like in the first meeting. I prefer it to be face-to-face, but I do online as well.
Right.
It's a meeting of chemistry meeting, we call it, in coaching,
Right.
and also alignment, aligning the needs, what she needs, what I need, what her expectations are, what my expectations are, because I also have expectations.
Right.
I expect her to commit herself fully to this journey, because that's what I'm doing.
Right.
And I am, yesterday I was talking to my mentee, it's been 8 months that we had been in this journey. Now we have turned it to a reverse mentoring, which she is mentoring me about my resistance to certain things, which is, I spoke about it earlier, that I am good at, I am able to do what I do, but I am not able to tell what I do. So she's helping me. Not helping, but facilitating to unlock my potential in that aspect. So there's a bi-directional relationship over there. So it's important, it's vital to create that platform of safety, lifting your guards, and yeah, what she said yesterday, she reminded me, because I totally forget, during that period of 8 months, while I was, I don't know, somewhere in summer holiday, I did not skip any sessions. I was somewhere in out in the woods, connecting with basic connection quality and so on, because I was devoted to that. So there are a lot of expectations from each other. So it's important to set that from the beginning.
What you were earlier saying, that I had a revelation, like you're saying that for the mentorship process to be successful, one should know about their expectation and what's their targets, whatever. So it also reminded me the good old Matrix movie, like the Neo and the Oracle's conversation.
Yes.
So I mean,
My favorite.
yes, I mean it's indeed, because it's like first you need to know yourself, right, and then you have to
Yes.
believe in yourself, because
Yes.
and only you can tell what's possible. So then is it? I didn't think this before, but so before a good coaching, you shouldn't maybe involve in mentoring. Is there anything like that?
Okay, let me respond to that in a different way. We are all in a journey of self-exploration and self-actualization, which is, when I ask you, what do you want? Probably majority of the people would say, I want to be happy, but how you want to be happy, what makes you happy, and so on. So this is a journey that we are going step by step, until our last breath. So it's a journey of understanding yourself. And one of the mechanisms of understanding yourself is through serving others. Through, yes, listening to your own voice, but not constantly in a cyclic mode, being in a inner dialect, let's say. And there's another mechanism for exploring yourself is through talking to others. And either mentoring or coaching or consultancy, whatever we're talking right now, even we are evolving, we are shifting in mindset or thoughts, aha, eureka moment, and so on. So we are best functioning in and evolving in such a way. So in order to be able to be a mentor or a coach, I think what we require is, of course, certain soft skills training, coaching, education, training, etc., practices, etc. But what underlies there that is pivotal is truly being committed and engaged to yourself, and having the willingness to outgrow yourself.
So you mentioned about the mentees, the value of mentoring for the mentees. Mostly, we've been talking about, let's say, what about the mentor?
Yeah.
What is in it for mentors? I mean, besides the reverse mentoring part.
Yes. What I have experienced a lot is that when I speak to anyone, or during my mentoring or coaching sessions, I find answers to my questions as well. And majority of the time, and it's, as I said, deep listening. Such deep listening is not only listening to you, but also listening to my inner dynamics and to my own voice. And what is it that I'm asking? How does that question serve to me? And this bounces back to me. So it's having, mentoring and coaching, it's like we are mirrors, but active and live mirrors. But while we are mirroring and reflecting to the other, that person also reflects to us, because that is also a mirror to us. So it's important, of course, to be very, very aware, attentive, and mindful, which comes mindfulness.
Right.
And mindfulness is a whole different, deep topic.
Exactly.
What other benefit or let's say gains out of it, other than the recognition that I have in my LinkedIn profile or in my CV that I'm mentoring and coaching and so on, voluntarily or whatever, probably the most rewarding ever serving and giving act. I'll give you a metaphor, okay? Imagine a candle. We're all individually are like a candle. We burn until we die, right? Okay, we have two choices. Either we exhaust all of our paraffin and waste it and burn out, or we use it and make it util and we enlighten. What happens is that, the candle cannot enlighten itself. It can only enlighten its surrounding. But once I enlighten the other will enlighten me. The community gets the advantage. I get the advantage. It's the give and take, and it's the giving and receiving. And I see it as the most rewarding. I mean, this is the same sense I had all years long when I was teaching. I had with the same value. So
that's the thing that really, like helping someone has definitely both ways of you actually, who's helping who? I mean, like in that sort of thing.
Exactly. Exactly.
And so,
absolutely.
When you took part in, you're still taking part in the different organizations for this mentoring, Professional Women's Network, and as well as the Million Women Mentors, right?
Yes, Turkish Win.
Turkish Win and Bini Yaprak. So how do you evaluate them? How do they differ? Do they differ ever? And from the other programs in Europe and Turkey, I mean, like what differences can you underline?
The similarity between them is that both of them, they have calls for women empowerment. In Turkish Win, 1 million mentees or mentors, it has an age range. In PWN, Professional Women's Network, there's no age range, and it can range from whoever wants to enroll. Can. For example, I can also enroll as a mentee. I want to get mentored. So there's no limitation on that. There's another differentiation between the two, the way they match mentor and mentees. PWN has, by the way, it's global. It has 23 cities. The headquarters is in France. What they do is first they receive enrollment from both sides, mentors and mentees. Then there are the ambassadors that they're in charge of a number of mentors and a number of mentees. And then these ambassadors get together like around a round table and scatter around the applications and so on, the profiles, and then try to match as best as possible. Turkish Win, what it does is it does it with an algorithm in a digital platform. So let's say that you want to mentor. By the way, the mentors can be men or women. It doesn't matter. You open up a profile. The mentee opens up a profile. Based on the keywords that you enter, the mentee finds a list of potential mentors from who she would choose, and then reaches out, and this is how it goes. So either one is a method, is a good method. It's better to have one than not to have at all, right? So what's important here is that both the mentor and the mentee take the initiative of saying out loud that, hey, it didn't work. Can we change? Can I try another one? So this is important. So what's problematic over there that needs more emphasis or effort is follow-up. That is missing. In both sides. In both the PWN and in Turkish Win. And so it falls into the responsibility of the mentor or the mentee. Other than that, I think both are very valuable. These two organizations are targeting female, right? There's another NGO that I'm associated with. It is called Renkli Campus, Colorful Campus Program. Maybe you've heard of it.
Yes.
The NGO it's called Değiştiren Adımlar Derneği. Sorry for the Turkish, but it is steps for change, steps to change, to create change, you know, because change happens with little steps.
Right.
The program has started in 2015, and ever since I've been involved in that. And the differentiation over there, the distinction is involving men, male youngsters, and also not leaving them out.
Okay.
That is one.
Yeah.
And also not leaving the youngsters who have certain disability, and considering their situation in the society, they have little representation. They have little access to certain programs, leadership programs, or at the end, mentoring or coaching and so on. All of them are one-to-one leadership dialogues to unlock their leadership potential. I mean, either through a training, either to one-to-one. So that's another organization that I am involved in, and it has a totally different format, by the way.
So actually, when we first talked about it, about women empowerment, and so I know it's a whole another different topic.
Yes,
but
definitely.
But do you think it's how effective, how much we can count on this one, knowing that most of the problem actually is happening around the management or the male management side. So is it also transforming them, do you think? I mean, like their bosses, their managers?
Let me take you back to 1980s.
Okay.
Where to UK.
Okay.
To flexible working, work-life balance. These practices emerged out of the necessity to involve women into workforce. And what happened was that women had the privilege of having part-time working or working from home or flexible working in terms of time, etc. And then look at today. Everybody is benefiting from it. So somehow a positive discrimination towards women evolved through time, where it encompassed the whole society. Now, empowerment, right now we're talking about women empowerment, which is, again, feminism or positive discrimination towards one segment of the society. By the way, there's a huge debate, again, in the UK about binary gender. So men, women, there are others.
Yeah.
And what is happening right now from feminism, it's evolving towards pro-feminism, which it has misogyny and chauvinism as well. But eventually, men are also benefiting and are going to benefit from all of these. And in what? I'm going to quote a very valuable person that has in this field. This is not my field of expertise, okay? I am an advocate to it. I am passionate about it, as you can see from my voice, but I am not, this is not my field of study and so on. But what Gloria Steinem is saying is that once men realize that gender roles are a prison for them too, they become really valuable allies. Because they're not just helping someone else, they're freeing themselves as well. True.
I absolutely agree, and I liked it very much because that sort of pressure, man suffers a lot too. I mean, like to have all the burden on your shoulders, whatever, like as if this is a male thing, this is a whatever. So this is killing us as well. I mean, that's so true. What would be your message to potential mentors and potential mentees? What they should do next, and how they should get to action?
I ask myself, what is the message that I want to give and transmit through this talk? And it's not about me, because it's none of our journey is in the whole world. We're just a tiny dot
Right.
in the whole universe. But when we come together and make good deeds for the community, it grows to be a big dot, and it creates impact. So getting back to the candle metaphor is, first of all, finding out your own light. It's so important. So you know the famous "Know Thyself" inscription on the temple of Apollo,
Right.
that say, know yourself, who you are, what do you want, what are your values, what drives you, what matters to you, what are your concerns, what is it that you want to create, who are you? Like finding out your light in terms of your flame, what burns for you. That is one of the questions that I would urge anyone to find out if they want to get into this loop, you know. And it's a very rewarding and very enjoyable journey,
Exactly.
let me tell you. The second is to ask yourself, if you had the chance to go back to your younger self, what would you do for her or for him? And that answer is somehow from the past to the future. It leads. This is how it led me, actually. And going telling the story of my 25-year-old version and so on. What is it that I would give to myself? I would find myself a mentor. I would mentor myself. So asking that question. The last probably is, we are all role models, either aware or unaware. But we have a choice to make it aware, and how we want to do that, and taking action. Either we will burn out, or we will enlighten and get enlightened.
Great. That's a great parting words for this episode, I would say. So how people can reach out to you? What would you prefer? You want them to follow you from where? From Instagram, from LinkedIn, from?
I am not very active on Instagram. I should be. As I told you, it's one of my challenges right now.
Good.
How to put myself more upfront. What matters is what I do and not show it.
Right.
But I know that's the reality, that you need to brand yourself. Whoever wants to reach me can reach me through LinkedIn.
Okay.
And not only connection, but texting and talking, and I am very happy to connect and get into a journey together, because I want to learn, I want to explore more, and I'm curious. You know, every story has a new. It's like a book.
It's a charm. Yes.
To learn from. Yeah.
Definitely. Well, thank you very much, Shirley, for being part of the program, and see you again.
Yes, thank you, Mete. Thank you very much.